Hello. How many days do you think it'll take for you to get a scheduled appointment at the DMV? 10 days? 20 days? More? My name is Andrew Sanchez, and I propose that the California DMV should have separate offices for its behind the wheel and written tests, and another office for its paperwork oriented business services. As many of you are my fellow peers furthering our educational goals, I'm sure most of you have a license or at least an ID. Or perhaps you may not have either and are working toward one. And on that day, you will have to venture into the dreaded DMV office and wait there to be served. Personally, I have had to wait in line numerous times in my life, and I had to be there twice for the written test and 3 times for the behind the wheel test. And most recently, I had to schedule an appointment for my little brother for the knowledge test, which was set for April 28th, 2020, a whopping 76 days since we scheduled the appointment. However, with the current pandemic going on, I doubt we'll be going there. For my main points, I will follow the problem, cause, and solution pattern, which are as follows. The problem, that DMV lines are horrendously long and the appointments take forever to get to. The cause is that current events in California, such as the Real ID deadline, are extending appointments months out, as well as young adults coming of age to be able to drive on the road. My solution would be dividing the functions of the DMV into separate offices. My first main point, DMV lines and appointments. In 2018, people in San Francisco were waiting in line for hours just to be able to receive a ticket so they could wait again for another hour or more to get serviced, along with noticeable longer wait times and appointments that Kathleen Pender has reported via the San Francisco Chronicle. Most recently, however, depending on your location, wait times can vary between an average of 20 minutes in the Sacramento office at 4700 Broadway and up to 35 minutes at the Sacramento South office, as reported by Brian Anderson via the Sacramento Bee. From my perspective, those times are tolerable. However, if you live in the Bay Area or LA, there have been reports of wait times of upward to an hour or more. You may be wondering why the surge of people flooding from the DMV, why the surge of people flooding the DMV, which brings me to my reason and second main point. Current events in California, which is the Real ID deadline, are extending appointments months out because people are scrambling to get it done before the deadline, as well as young adults, again, becoming of age to start testing and going out to drive on the road now that they're of age. First, let's go over the Real ID. The Real ID is a requirement that came about from the Real ID Act passed by Congress and signed into law by President George W. Bush, our former president, in 2005 of May on the 11th. It asked states by 2008 to change the process to issue license and asking those applying for a license to provide more details and proof of identity before being able to receive your ID or license. Ethan Butford has explained via the government commuter news. Clearly, we have surpassed the 2008 deadline, and the current requirement for our state, California, is October 1st, 2020, which is then pushed back again due to the current pandemic to the following year of October 1st, 2021. 2018 was the year that California DMV began the process of accepting and applicants to upgrade IDs and licenses to the Real ID, which was what flooded the DMV offices to begin with. Along with that, young adults are coming with age to begin driving. Beginning at the age of 15 and a half, adults can begin driver's education to receive a learner's permit and a provisional permit. Through the process to obtain a license for a young adults visit the office multiple times. There are 3 potential visits for the written test and another 3 potential visits via the behind the wheel test. If failing those, they could add additional visits due to reapplying. This all depends on the success on the individual applicant. How would we better mitigate these long wait times? And as I said, I propose that we divide the functions of the DMV into separate offices. Let's go over the functions of the DMV. The functions the DMV provides are as follows. motor vehicle titles and registration, enforcement of mandatory liability insurance, driver's licensing, like issuing, and other licensing and collection of fees and taxes. This information was provided by Donna Batten from the Gale Encyclopedia of American Law. By opening separate offices for the DMV, we can split the functions into two categories: clerical duties and testing. One office will handle all the vehicle registration duties, insurance liability, and title transfers. The other office will, handle knowledge testing and behind the wheel tests. This separation of offices will lighten the load each office has to deal with and provide more jobs for the community. All in all, this will provide a benefit to our society by allowing us to A. avoid longer wait times and return to our personal duties or work, B. upgrade our IDs and licenses before the deadline, and allow young adults to begin working toward their progress of driving on the road. And finally, C. by having more DMV offices, the workload will be easier and manageable by the employees. Remember, if you want to expedite your process, your journey into the DMV, do your best to schedule an appointment beforehand. Thank you.